Tav X Hebrews, purity and becoming one. How do we become pure? You got to turn to the Most High God and Him alone. Nobody else, no helpers, no sidekicks, no apprentices, no Batman and Robin. It's Yahweh Akkad, Yahweh only. That's the only deity that we need to be concerned with serving, not Christ, not Yeshua, not Yahweh Shai. I gotta start this video by saying that, because this afternoon, the video that we're gonna be watching and reacting to, and look, don't take this the wrong way. The video we're gonna be watching and reacting to is not to talk bad about people. It's to shine a spotlight on what goes on and the things that are very highly likely to happen when you put your trust in another God. This guy, Guerrilla Hebrew, number one, he's a false prophet. Number two, he's a cannibal. Number three, he's a vampire. Okay? This guy is a vampire, a cannibal, a false prophet, a heathen, and he's been out here leading the children of Israel, leading them right off of a cliff. This guy actually had an entire congregation, Guerrilla Hebrew. Many of you in the Hebrew Israelite world, a lot of y'all are familiar with this guy. Calls himself something like the chief priest, some crap like that. He was presiding over the camp, the Sakari camp. All you gotta do is go on YouTube, type in Sakari camp, Guerrilla Hebrew. You'll see this dude. Just me, if you ask me, I think this dude is an Arab. Okay, he looks like an Arab dude, a Greek or Arab or something, and the behavior that he's been engaging in is all coming out. Now look, am I saying this just to single this guy out and pick on this guy? That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because let this be a lesson to everybody out there who wants to be an idolater. You want to drink blood? You want to eat somebody's body, even though the laws of God prohibit it. Listen to me, family. If you are somebody who is in the Christian church or the Catholic church, or maybe you're in Sakari or any one of these other Hebrew camps out here, if they are telling you that Yeshua or Yahweh Shai or Bahashem Yahweh Shai, any of those names, it's all the same devil. And I said devil. Our brothers and sisters don't realize you've been following the damn devil. Yahweh Shai is a demon, family. And he's getting you to break the Most High's laws. And that's why you're going to continue to go through hell. And this afternoon, we're going to listen to a testimony, a story from one of our sisters of the hell that she went through with this Guerrilla Hebrew guy. Hit the like button on your way in the door. Subscribe to the channel, family. We're going to get started at about the 10-minute mark. Hit that like button, Hebrew. The brother Joshua the Levite, and he says at Mr. Real Talk, Shalom. Let's get it cracking. What's going on, Joshua the Levite? Hope all is well with you, brother. And you right. Let's get it cracking. Joshua the Levite says Yahweh alone. That's right. Yahweh alone. All right. And I know we usually don't be going live at this time of day. Okay, but we doing it today. And for the most part, I'm gonna shut my big black mouth. At least I'm gonna try to, and I'm gonna let this sister tell you her testimony, because this is her testimony. How many other of our sisters are out there going through this kind of crap? Whether they in a Hebrew camp, the Christian church, the Catholic church, it's all the same. IUIC, WFI, the rest of these camps. Okay, it's only like 1 or 2 camps out there, y'all. It's like 2 camps out there that's going most high only. All the rest of them other camps out there, they're telling you to drink blood and to eat bodies. And they're going to get you caught up and put to death. And until you get put to death, your life is going to be a wreck. Some of you, you're going to be appalled at what you're going to see and hear. I did know that at some time, every group, every pastor, every church, every organization that is leading the children of Israel into worship of another God, they're all going to be publicly put to shame and destroyed. And we've been watching it happen for quite some time. All of the idolaters, they're being torn down. And pretty soon, you're only going to have one place to run. You're going to run to Yahweh and Yahweh alone, or you're going to die out here. And I'm telling you that in a loving way. You are going to die. You want to stay with IUIC, you're going to die. You want to stay with Sakari, you are going to die. You want to be up under WFI, HOI, you are going to die. You know why? Because every last one of those groups believe in drinking spiritual blood and eating spiritual bodies. I don't give a damn what they tell you. They're telling you to follow Yeshua or Yahushai or Bahashim Yahushai. All of those camps think that somebody else died for you. That lets you know, number one, those guys, they're not of the Most High. Those guys are of Yahushai or Bahashim Yahushai. They got another God, just like their followers. I'm trying to help one of you or some of you, if you have the ear to hear. We get ready to go and watch. We get ready to go and watch a testimony from a sister, y'all. Unfortunately, this kind of thing is going to continue to happen out here because nobody wants to follow the Most High and Him alone. So until we get that through our skulls, this is the kind of stuff that we're going to be subjected to, like it or not. Okay? Fair use, fair use. Hit the like button on your way in the door, family. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Fair use, fair use. Since 1880. Fair use, fair use.
Shalom, family. So I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible. This public spectacle has been dragging on for weeks now. Obviously, if you're in the Israelite community or even the Christian community or Muslim community, at this point you've heard of the allegations and the exposing of my husband, Guerrilla Hebrew. However, you've seen evidence and you've probably heard my friends defending me, whether it's in the clubhouse room or YouTube or whatever, but you haven't heard from me yet. And the reason that things have come out in the way that they have come out primarily is because of me. And because of that, I have to speak now, and my husband, quite frankly, has really left me no other choice but to defend myself, which I told him that I would do if he lied on me.
Type a 1 in the chat or a fire emoji if you can hear with no problem.
And I also want to make it very clear, as much as I love you, Israel, I don't need your approval. My husband needs your approval. He needs you to believe him.
Thank you, Joshua the Levite.
More than he needs or wants the approval of the Most High. So my purpose in this video is pretty much just to tell my side of the story and give some clarity to the things that have been said, the evidence that's been shown, and quite frankly, my part in it. And I didn't want this spectacle. I didn't want this big public thing, and I didn't want this, and I made this very clear to everybody from the onset of this. This is not what I wanted. However, I believe this is what the Most High wanted. What you guys have seen in terms of my husband's initial video and his videos after that and his actions after that is the man that I've known for years. A man who can look you in the face and cry and repent, and at the same time tell half-truths and whole lies, all in the name of self-preservation and to escape accountability. So I guess I can start from the beginning, so to speak.
We got Sister Hazel Wizards. Hazel Wizards says, just saw you were live. Hey, Mr. Real Talk, friendly emoji. What's going on, Hazel Wizards? Good to see you, fam. Yeah, fam, had to couldn't make it into captivity today. I had to take one more day, fam. Had to take one more day. And you know, in this society, it's all about producing. They don't give a damn how you feel, how hurt you are physically, mentally, spiritually, what's going on with your family. They don't care if your family, they don't care about nothing. Niggas just come in and do this job we got. That's all they care about. But a nigga couldn't do it today. I know you say, hold up. He don't never go live this time. Yeah, nigga free from captivity today. So I'm bringing this out right here. I don't know if y'all have already heard about this. Maybe y'all have. I knew that something was going on with Guerrilla Hebrew. I didn't know exactly what. I mean, I've been knew that he was a false prophet, a heathen, a blood drinker, a body eater. But now it's all coming out. The Most High is destroying the church. And the church, it means messianics too. For everybody out there that wants to be a spiritual vampire and a cannibal, you're breaking the Most High's laws, and he's going to break you. And he's going to break you in a public fashion. Because this same deity that everybody worshiping, Yahweh Shai, because these people over here at Sakari, they believe in Yahweh Shai, okay? That he died for sins and all that other garbage, okay? Anybody who's going to refuse to return to the Old Testament, these are the kind of things that you're going to be highly subjected to. Now look, don't get it wrong, right? I'm not saying that just because you turn into an Old Testament only person that you still might not sin sometimes or bad things might not happen. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm telling you is, as long as you are worshiping another God, drinking blood and eating a body, you're a part of a demonic blood drinking satanic cult. You're accountable. Okay? You're a demon. And until you realize that and walk away from that, your life is going to be filled with travesty. And you want to lessen your chance of something like this happening, turn to Yahweh and him only and ditch Yahweh Shai. Or you're gonna be torn to smithereens. You're gonna die at the end of the day. And until you die, horrible things like this testimony right here is what you're gonna have to bear. Okay? Hit the like button as you come through the door. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And we still will be going live later on this evening for everybody else getting out of captivity. This right here is just something extra. I wanted to shine a light on it because all of the blood drinkers and body eaters will be brought down. Guerrilla Hebrew is a vampire. He's a cannibal. I'm not saying that to diss him. The people at Sakari, he's turned you guys and gals into vampires and cannibals. There's only one way out. Repent. If you somebody, maybe you at IUIC or HOI, look, I'm not saying this to diss any of y'all, but I got to tell you the truth. You all have been turned into vampires, Count Draculas. You're walking vampires and you're spiritual cannibals, and you all are going to die. And stuff like this is going to happen to you. How many of our women are out there suffering? And look, you're going to see, we're going to watch this video and you're going to see. Hazelwood says straight idolatry. Exactly. So if you're somebody who's a member of Sakari, you see what your leader is engaging in. Your leader, this is what happens when you drink blood and eat bodies. It affects your brain. It affects your spiritual brain and your physical brain. You drink spiritual blood and eat spiritual bodies, and it affects your physical brain. So Guerrilla Hebrew is out of his mind, and he's turned his congregation into a bunch of day-walking vampires. Just like IUIC, just like HOI, WFI, all of them. Except for like one or two. GOZ is getting it in, and we got other camps out there now. They turn to the Most High. We got what's our brother? Israel's Kingdom of Saints getting it in out here. And there's like one or two other spots. But other than that, man, all these camps are done out here. The Christian church, the Catholic church, you're all finished. If you're going to finish watching this video, Hazelwood says all these rebellious Negroes. Exactly. Wait till y'all hear this, though. I'm going to shut my big black mouth. If y'all say something, maybe I'll say something, but this is kind of long, but we're going to watch this. Read, Ak. Read, Ak. Fair use, fair use. Fair use, I say.
And at the same time, tell half-truths and whole lies. All in the name of self-preservation and to escape accountability. So I guess I can start from the beginning, so to speak. Obviously, I want to go back to freaking Genesis, the very beginning of, you know what I mean? It's not that deep. But I will try to briefly just give you guys a general timeline, kind of our relationship and our marriage, leading up into obviously where we're at right now. So met my husband back in I want to say late 2018, early 2019. I was already in the truth, maybe about a year and a half. I was still in the Christian church, but transitioning my way out. I was kind of more rooted by, relationships and being connected, and just kind of not wanting to abandon the people I've been a part of my life, my whole life, or at least to me, it felt like my whole life. So I was probably a year and a half into the truth when I met my husband, which was actually online. It was a simple shalom in the inbox. I used to always tell him, you had me at shalom. So that's how it started. And in the beginning, I didn't even know who he was. I came into the truth off videos from HOI and AOC. I didn't know who Guerrilla Hebrew was. I didn't know, anything like that about him. I didn't know he had a congregation. I only found that out, a little ways into our relationship. And I know in one of his rants, he had talked about how when he met, or he took me out of a 1-bedroom apartment and, all of that. But when I met my husband, he didn't have a car. He didn't even have a license. And he too was living in an apartment with Naya, who's the first wife, Hassad, and 2 children. I believe it was like a 1-bedroom apartment as well. So whatever. So when I met him, he was Guerrilla Hebrew, but he was not the version of Guerrilla Hebrew that he is now. So we met, we talked for a while. Obviously, it was long distance. I believe he was.
Hey, what's going on, Earth Healing Angel? Shout out to you. Earth Healing Angel says, Shalom, brother, Mr. Real Talk and family. My sister and I pray for your need and overall health and prosperity. Thank you, my dear sister. And she says, brother, sending you healing and infinite prosperity energies. Amen. Hey, Sister Earth Healing Angel, I thank you very much. And you know what? I can sense you got that healing spirit in you too. Earth Healing Angel. What an appropriate name. I thank you for your prayers. Sister Earth Healing Angel, you and your sister. Thank you both for your prayers. I also thank all of y'all, brothers and sisters on here, for your prayers for my leg, for my knee. And it's gotten a little bit better every day. And probably from last night to today, probably is the biggest improvement that I felt. I was actually going to force myself to go into slavery today. I never want to go into slavery, but we don't have any choice right now because I'm on that bad deal, trading time for money. And you think about it in times like this, when you bust it up and you can't go to slavery, that means what? You lose money. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got to get out of that nonsense of, oh, don't talk about money. Don't talk about money. You must be crazy. That's under the curses. Don't talk about money. We didn't turn to the Most High God and Him alone now. So we coming up out of the curses and we going to talk about money. And we need to make money without trading our time for money. Figure it out, Hebrew. One of the places you could do is start a YouTube channel. I told y'all a couple of months is coming. I'm going to have this channel published, and it's going to be all about making money, giving away free AI tools. We'll go into that deeper later. But thank you, Earth Healing Angel, and thank all of you on this channel for your prayers because they are working. I remember thinking that yesterday and definitely this morning when I woke up. I said, you know what? This is the best that my leg has felt, my knee has felt in days. I thank the Most High, and I thank Him for brothers and sisters like y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I loves y'all. Y'all know I love y'all. And all that love and energy and healing energy you send in Earth Angel, infinite prosperity energies, I'm sending that right back to you. Like we playing a game of tennis. You over there in Canada, right? I'm over here in the United States, and I'm hitting it right back to you. And I'm hitting it right back to your sister. Shout out to your sister, and I love and appreciate you both. Earth Healing Angel puts, I believe, a dandelion or a sunflower emoji in there. I'm feeling that, fam, and I'm appreciating that. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, if you are somebody who's a member of one of these Hebrew camps, like I said, I'm not trying to diss y'all. I'm not personally attacking y'all. I love y'all, brothers and sisters. That's why I want you to get the hell away from IUIC, GMS, Sakari, all of these places. These places are going to be the death of you. And you're going to go through all kind of crazy. Listen to this bizarre story as this unfolds. This is a wild, crazy story. And this guy, so-called Haitian. If you look at Guerrilla Hebrew, now I'm not saying that everything is judging a book by its cover, because you can't always judge a book by its cover. I know that. But do this nigga Guerrilla Hebrew look like a Haitian to y'all? Do he move or act like a Haitian to y'all? Sound confirmation. And even look, let's just say he was Haitian, which I don't believe he is, but let's say he was. He's wicked because he's a blood drinking, body eating nigga. And he's going to get the people who are doing the same thing as he's going to get them killed. Earth Healing Angel says, thank you. We receive. All praises to the mighty one of Jacob, Earth Angel. Thank you for receiving. And thank you for being here right now. Everybody in here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not, and listen to this.
In Washington for a time, or he had just moved to Texas at the time. He also had another wife. Her name is Tiffany. I never got a chance to meet the sister, but I heard about her. I believe their marriage was phasing out by the time I came on the scene. So fast forward, we court for months, probably about 7 or 8 months. Before we even met, and the majority of the time, like, he just spent like just teaching me, you know. I learned a lot from him. I was still new in the truth. I knew some things, but you know, I was still watching, you know, AOC and HOI and you know, other camps. So I didn't have any like solid doctrines.
All of those camps are idolaters.
Mold me fairly quickly, in terms of my understanding. And I welcomed it because I was new in the truth. Very knowledgeable brother. A Haitian man, of course. What luck. I can't seem to stay away from it. But anyway, so everything just lined up. Over time.
He don't look like or act like none of the Haitians I know. Like I said, now I'm smart enough to know you can't judge a book by its cover all the time. Okay? But he don't even move like or act like any of the Haitians that I know. I know some real Haitians. But even the Haitians that I know, some of those guys, they drink blood and they eat bodies. In fact, most of them do. Christians.
I did start to notice in conversations as things got a little bit more heated. Now, I understand in the beginning of this, we were long distance, so we hadn't had sex and we weren't married for the first, like, at least 8 or 9 months. Like, we were long distance. We had premarital counseling with Elder Shalomah. I believe it was Elder Shalomah. Could have been another elder, but I'm pretty sure he did our premarital counseling before we ever laid down together and everything like that. So I started to notice, you know, little comments and things that he would make in the realms of the what I now know to be a cuck fetish, but just things about, you know, interracial and white men and things like that. And I can't even really tell you why I entertained it.
I'll pause right there. Can y'all see what that says right there? Y'all, this is crazy. I don't know, can y'all see that? Look at what that says right there. Look at what that says right there to the left. Sidebar. It says, "It's sick how aroused I am by the idea of you lying to me," and you read the rest for yourself. Just look at that. Pause it if you got to. Y'all see this? This is the so-called, what is he calling himself? The high priest or some kind of priest, Guerrilla Hebrew. Guerrilla Hebrew. How about that? Y'all, get away from these camps, y'all.
At the time, or you know, why I kind of didn't like sound the alarm on it or whatever. I did think that it was odd. So much so that I actually have screenshots from back in 2019 when he first started to kind of, you know, say certain things and bring certain things out, you know, kind of out of the blue, in terms of this fantasy and things like that. And now y'all remember, I'm new in the truth, so you know, the very beginning of the truth, I imagine for a lot of people, you know, there's that fresh zeal, that, you know, that we used to call it the Christian church, the fresh, you know, that fresh wind that you'll get. You know, you're invigorated in the spirit, you're invigorated in the truth, you're learning all these things about yourself, and you're the chosen people, and you're understanding things scripturally that you never saw before in the Christian church. So, I mean, that's what drew me in to him. The way that he taught me, the way that he broke things down, the way that he treated me, even from a distance. Now, mind you, during this time, I was still paying my own bills. I was still long distance. I was still working. I had my eldest child. When my husband and I met, my daughter, I believe, was about 12 or 13. She's 18 now. So taking care of my kid and things like that. So over time, obviously, I noticed the comments and certain things, and to me, it's like, at this point, I'm in love with this man. We've had, counsels, premarital counsels, and things like that. Like, I know what the calling is on his life. I know what he's meant to do. I know what he teaches. So this is completely opposite of what he teaches in like the worst way. I recognize it as a demon. Something that was on him, obviously trying to get in the way of the work that he had to do for the Most High. So, to me, it wasn't a thing for me to run away from at that point. It was like, okay, I have to, pray for him. I gotta, fast. And
what this sister doesn't understand, Guerrilla Hebrew does not work for the Most High. He works for Yahweh Shai. That is an idol, blatant idolatry. That's what all of our people must come to understand, or it's going to be the end of you.
Kind of talking through it and, things like that, whatever. And so as time went on, there was escalations, I would say. Certain comments and certain things would become more and more frequent. Again, like you said.
And did y'all see when I paused it for y'all to read that screenshot she put up there? This nigga, and she saved these screenshots because she knew at some point she might have to double back on the block and expose this guy. And he had fantasies about her having a white man as a boyfriend with a bigger Johnson than him. This is the guy who's leading the children of Israel, getting them to drink blood and to eat bodies.
It was all fantasy, just conversation. But again, as time went on, we did obviously get married, right? And then I got pregnant with Jericho. And for the longest time, even I spent my entire pregnancy still back in Connecticut, which is where I was when I met my husband. I
try craft signatures. Fair use. Hey, y'all. Guerrilla Hebrew is just another false prophet. You either gonna turn to the Most High or you will die. Understand that.
There were things that I was uncomfortable with, in terms of the fetish, but that wasn't the biggest thing for me. It was just just finding out different things in terms of the Naya, who was his wife, who he was with before he came into the truth. Just hearing about how he was dealing with her and things that were happening, and in the house that she still lived in with him, which he had told me in the beginning they were not together, but he didn't tell me later on down the line that they still lived in the same house. So I was finding things out later on. So there were things that kept me from moving to be with him once he got to Atlanta. So when he says things like, over the span of 5 years, me being disrespectful, and what else did he say? I was disrespectful and disagreeable or whatever. What he's leaving out is the fact that for at least 2 of those years, we weren't even in the same state. I spent my entire pregnancy with Jericho in Connecticut. I gave birth to him in Connecticut. I didn't finally move to Atlanta until Jericho was, I believe, about 6 months. So I worked my whole pregnancy, gave birth to Jericho, was on maternity leave, or actually, for the record, he paid my rent one time while I was on maternity leave in Connecticut, because I, used up all my maternity time, and I just couldn't stand to leave my son. So I wanted to take like an extra month off. So he did pay my rent that one time out of those 2 years, for the record. Because it seems he's roped me in with his other women in terms of saying it's about money, or whatever ridiculous excuse that he's using. But so I ended up moving when Jericho was about 6 months, and I moved in. How
many women has Guerrilla Hebrew done this to? How many women have other leaders out here, leaders of these cults who drink blood and eat bodies? How many people's lives have they destroyed, family? If you are watching this and you are a part of any of these cults, come out. Hazelwood says, I watched the first video of him being exposed, sound confirmation, with another brother from his camp. He showed text messages. Sad. This is crazy. Hazelwood says, Pastor Dow is another one. Follow Yeshua, but using the Most High name. All these different names, still JC. Exactly. I don't care whether you call him Yeshua, Yehoshua, Yahawashai, Bahashem Yahawashai, Christ. All of it is garbage. Your life is going to be crap and it's going to be trash. And that's on this side. If you won't repent, the Most High going to slaughter you when you get into the spirit realm. This is not a game. This lady, our sister, somehow survived this interaction with this so-called Guerrilla Hebrew, who's nothing of the sort. He's just another vampire, another demonic seance having ass nigga. That's all he is. And because he can quote a few scriptures, it blows people's minds. And people, until you understand that you need to learn the Most High God's laws from the Old Testament and the ones that we can keep, you keep them. We know certain laws apply. You got to be in the land to keep them. We're not going into that right now. We're not debating that right now. We're telling you, turn to the laws, turn to the God of the Old Testament, and ditch this Yeshua, Yahawashai, Yehoshua, JC, Christ, whatever you want to call him. You're just a Catholic. You're just a Christian. You're just a vampire. You're just a cannibal. This is what happens when you engage in these high-level, wicked, blasphemous deeds. This is satanic that somebody would drink blood of any kind because it's against God's laws. I don't care who tries to dress it up. You're abominable. And if you're in one of these camps out here who's following Yahawashai, leave, run while you're still alive.
With him into a house in Atlanta. I was there for only about 3 months. Not only had the conversations about the cuck fetish increased, and
do you hear that? The cuck fetish. This guy, Guerrilla Hebrew, was married to this woman and several other women, but he had a cuck fetish. For those of you who don't know what a cuck fetish is, go look it up, okay? It's when a man wants to see another man with his wife in the bedroom, okay? Joshua the Levite says at Hazel Woods, that's right, a.k.a. Pastor Lowdown. That sounds like a good name for him, brother.
And it's kind of like the need for the conversation. But there was just other things that were going on that I was uncomfortable with that just didn't walk with what he taught, didn't walk with the things that he told me before I moved. And then honestly, I think I just got a little skittish and a little scared because I've been independent for so long and taking care of myself for so long. And here's this man who's not my husband and he wants me to pack up my whole life and leave, everything that I know, to be with him. And it was just scary for me to have given up so much of that control. And once I had moved and I was in it, I was overwhelmed by it. And I was overwhelmed by the way that I saw him move behind closed doors. And I was concerned about the cuck fetish, and I was concerned about, ways that he wanted me to dress, and the way he dealt with Naya. And honestly, by that point, he had Tiffany, Naya, or he had reconciled with Naya at that time. Unbeknownst to me, he reconciled with her while she was pregnant with somebody else's baby. That also made me very uncomfortable, but whatever. Naya, and then there was Parshay. I'm sure you guys have probably never heard about her, right? Parshay, and then there was Kaylee.
Y'all see, this is his stable of women. This heathen, pagan, Gentile beast leading our people off a cliff into blood drinking and body eating, and then claiming to be Haitian. And then you can't make this up. We got Sister SP in the building. Sister SP says, Shalom, family. Discernment is an absolute must, family. Yes, it is, Sister SP. Discernment is an absolute must. Without it, you're going to be done. Your goose is cooked. You must turn to Yahweh and him alone. And once again, it seems like we got the daughters of Zion up in here rolling thick. Y'all be rolling deep, yo. Always good to see y'all. Hazelwood says, saw a video on TikTok. They celebrated the Sabbath, but we're drinking spiritual blood and eating this JC flesh. Call him the Most High Son. When are they going to realize they are still in Christianity? Hazelwoods, they're never going to get it, sis. They're never going to get it. Never going to get it. Never going to get it. Never going to. Whoa, 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 whoa. Never going to get it. Never going to get it. Never going to get it. They never going to get it, fam. SP says, some, not all of these men are attracted to the truth just because they think it opens the door to all the P you want. Hey, SP, you ain't lying, SP. I do see that out there too. And it appears as though this Guerrilla Hebrew guy is just another guy doing that. For those of you who didn't listen, didn't hear that good, listen again. Our sister SP says some, not all, of these men are attracted to quote unquote the truth just because they think it opens the door to all the P you want. And when she says P, you know what we're talking about. That P, that P sleeve. All right? And some of you niggas out there, you're going to pay a severe price for doing that. And you taking advantage of the women out here. And don't think that the Most High don't see you. And it ain't going to be no, some of you niggas out there, it's not that you're doing this unaware. You're intentionally doing this. You know what you're doing. And you are going to pay a severe price for turning our sisters, turning a lot of them into hoes. And then you're turning a lot of them, which most importantly, you're turning them into vampires and cannibals, turning them into walking abominations. And there will be a price to pay for that.
And by the time I believe Jericho was about 6 months, I could be off on that, whatever. I had just had enough of just a bunch of just weird stuff that I couldn't understand. And as an Israelite wife, the one that was in the truth, it's like we're, the Bible tells us we're supposed to, follow our husbands, and we're supposed to stand by our husbands, and we're not supposed to leave our husbands, and we're supposed to be, towers against death, and we're supposed to. So those things kind of kept me, from leaving almost immediately to be.
Yeah, I see that though. I want y'all to see that. Let me take this banner down so you can see that right there. Sirach 26 and 22. That's in the so-called Apocrypha. And harlot shall be a sound confirmation letting you know that what? This is true. You ain't getting away from this. Sirach 26 and 22. And harlot shall be accounted as spittle. Y'all hear that? That's what the God of Israel thinks about harlots. You shall be accounted as spittle. But a married woman is a tower against death to her husband. And these wicked ass niggas out here in these blood drinking, body eating cults, they're basically just like Sister SP said. They're trying to gather together as much P or as much P sleeve as they possibly can. And they're telling these women what they want to hear. Somebody died for you, sister. Somebody gave it all up for you, sister. No, they didn't. You're going to be the one that dies if we won't all repent. That's the only way out for all of us. We must repent. Ain't nobody dying for us. That's the hardcore truth, y'all. You're going to die for yourself. Sound confirmation.
Honest. In sidebar, I also paid for at least half of my move to Atlanta. I just want to throw that out there. He didn't even pay for the whole thing. I paid.
Hazelwood says these women believe these men because they truly believe they are righteous. I definitely believe that, Hazelwoods. I definitely believe that.
for half of that. And I can produce receipts. I probably don't have to do all of that. So anyway, so after just kind of dealing with stuff for a little bit and just being uncomfortable and just scared and just whatever, I took off. Right? He also left that part out. I've left him before. And when I left him, he wasn't aware. I actually left while he was out of town. And once he returned, obviously he found out that I left. You know, we talked or whatever. Obviously, he wanted me to come back. But I was just reluctant. I just didn't feel like things were right. I didn't understand his leadership. I didn't understand how he handled Naya. I didn't understand why, you know, at that point, Tiffany was gone. Naya was kind of, I don't even know half the time. Naya was kind of in and out and whatever. And Harshay apparently was gone. I heard she committed adultery, whatever. I'm pretty sure the only person that got it billed was Tiffany, but I never saw that. And then Kaylee, another wife, some of y'all might know her, was actually in the truth. But she saw the red flags and got out of Dodge. She still had her father in her life, and her father was able to get that marriage essentially annulled. So she was gone. So there was just a lot of things. So,
ladies, it matters to have your father in your life. If at all possible, it definitely matters, because the man and the women are essential. No more of this I can raise a kid by myself garbage. Okay? I know a lot of our women, you've been put in positions where you find yourself raising a kid by yourself, but that's not the optimal position. For the Hebrew nation to work right, we need the man and the woman, both of them, 100%. Hazelwood says, question, why do they dress in all these costumes? We don't know how we really dressed in ancient times. It's like cosplay. Hazelwoods, you ain't lying, Hazelwoods. And you know what, Hazelwoods? That is an excellent question, Hazelwoods. That is a more than excellent question, Hazelwoods. I'm glad you said that, because I've been thinking that before too. Joshua the Levite, and he goes, at Mr. Real Talk, Con, it really does matter. That's right. It definitely does. It definitely does, y'all. I'm telling y'all, what a time to be alive, y'all. What a time to be alive. And having the father in the family, I'm telling y'all, whoever's watching this video, wherever you are, I know it's a Hebrew nation. These devils, they've set it up so that we at each other's throat constantly. For this or that, it's always a reason for the Hebrew man and the Hebrew woman to be at odds with each other, because that's the plans of all of our enemies. Okay? And to keep us in idolatry too, so we can never tap into the one true power and we can get ourselves right. On this channel, we done away with all idols. We reject all idols. We hate all idols. We wish death on all idols. We don't give a damn about no idol. But we do love, worship, and admire Yahweh of hosts. And Yahweh only. He's the only one that matters. Nobody else. And until you get that through your head, you're going to have to deal with bad things. Sister SP says, welfare was set up, kick dad out. Exactly. Exactly. That was the real ground zero of it all right there. Welfare. Get dad out, and now we can attack his wife and children. Y'all see that? That was a straight up, that's a military operation, y'all. Welfare is a military operation against the children of Israel. And I don't care about what happens to the other nations. Of course, they're going to do it to them too. After they destroyed us, then they went for everybody else. That's crazy, though. Get dad out. Even the so-called New Testament tells you, take the strong man out of the house, and then you can take his family. And that's just what they did. SP says, I was blessed to be raised by both parents. Rest in power to both of them. That's right. Hey, SP, Definitely blessed for that. And may both of your parents rest in power to both of them. That's right, SP. And may the Most High smile on you, SP, one of our heavy hitters. Joshua the Levi says that, SP, it's by design. That's right. Yeah, it is. Oh, it was a perfect strategy. They got us. Hazelwood says, my mom and dad married, but my papa was a Rolling Stone. Laugh out loud. I got you, Hazelwood. I feel y'all. It's crazy, y'all, what they've done to the nation of Israel, fam. It really is. And it's just crazy what they've done to the whole world, making people believe that we should drink blood and eat bodies. It makes us crazy. And I'm not saying that to make fun or joke or joan. I'm serious. It makes us crazy. And sometimes you don't realize how crazy you are until you're no longer crazy, if that makes sense. And maybe that only makes sense to crazy people. Okay, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I see, what I feel, what I observe. Read, hit the like button, y'all.
While I was away, one of my concerns was this fetish, and some other things as well. But I knew he wasn't going to go to counsel about it. He wasn't going to talk to anybody about it. So I took it upon myself to reach out to the elder Shalomah. Now, I heard recently on a video somebody said something, or it might have been a clubhouse room. I believe it was Elder Zabak who said that he was yielding to counsel, or he had counsel now from Kahan and Elder Shalomah. That's news to me. I thought when he left the Masalah GRLA that, whatever. So I'm saying that to say that it's my understanding that the Elder Shalomah either records all of his counsels. I don't know if that's with like a recording device or whether it's that he writes, he takes notes or whatever. But I don't know if he would be a witness in my defense to the fact that I did reach out to him the first time I left, and I did bring up my concerns about the fetish. And I'm going to be honest, when I told the elder advised me not to go back.
And she's talking about the cuck fetish. You guys, if you never heard that before, go Google it. Go Google what a cuck is. A cuckold.
Because obviously at this point I've left, and of course my husband's trying to get me to come back, and I'm kind of reluctant. And the elder's pretty much like, and I told the elder, he doesn't know I'm calling you, doesn't know that I'm telling you this, like, but I don't know what to do about, my concerns with this fetish, and then also just some other, random stuff. The elder, honestly, he has my permission. If he were to decide to be a witness, I don't know if they would, or if he would be a witness for me in that regard. But if he were, I'm saying publicly that I'm giving him permission to share the contents of that council, Salakia Israel. I'm very, very congested and decided today was the day to record. So I'm going to have to deal with the sniffles. I'm not going to be able to edit all of that out. But anyway, so I did speak to the elder, and the elder told me not to go back yet, that my husband was going to need some sort of therapy or some sort of counseling, and that I needed to kind of sit tight. And I don't remember if he said that he was going to reach out to him, or if he wanted me to kind of talk to him to see if he would be interested in doing counseling or whatever. But so I didn't go back. I didn't go back for about a year, but I did talk to my husband about, while I was obviously still in Connecticut, consider, like, do you think like a counsel would help? Like if we did therapy, obviously this is things that elder told me. I'm not going to tell him the elder told me that. I'm just like throwing things out there. Like, do you think, that would help? Because I'm concerned about it. And of course he was like, no, for obvious reasons, right? He's embarrassed about it, and he doesn't want people in his business or whatever. So, but we spent about a year. Mind you, I went back to work. and everything. He was still supporting in terms of, sending money for Jericho, and, making sure, his sitters, the people who were watching while I was going to work, were, paid and things like that. So he did, he took care of his son, and he also made sure I was good as well, even while I was away from him, because at that point we were trying to work towards reconciliation, but we wanted to have a game plan on how we were going to deal with it. And after a year, I returned. And when I went back, so I went back, and we had come to just kind of some, agreement to how we were going to handle the situation, and the understanding that he gave me was, as long as, we didn't go outside of our marriage bed, the marriage bed is undefiled, as long as we didn't do anything outside of our marriage bed, and it was kept, with between us, and with phone conversations, and whatever, or text messages and things like that, it wasn't sin. So isn't that what Israel says? Your husband's understanding is your understanding. So that was my understanding. And again, and it is true what he's saying as far as it was fantasy. It was all fantasy. It was all text messages. It was all, role play kind of scenarios and things like that, which I want to make very clear I was not comfortable with. I didn't like it. It wasn't my fetish. It wasn't my, whatever. But if you think about something you're...
Hey, listen to this. Hazelwood says, I looked it up. Lord. Obviously, they not following the laws on relationships. If they are participating, she is not innocent either, because she could have said no. You know what? I wasn't going to say it necessarily just yet, but one of the heavy hitters chimed in, and she's telling the exact truth. And I was looking at this video, I was like, you know what? Okay, then she exposing Guerrilla Hebrew, her husband. But I'm like, you're not completely innocent now. Like you said, Hazelwood, she could have said no. Do y'all really understand what a cuck is? A cuckold? This man, and mind you now, he was standing on the street corner yelling out the white man's the devil, but yet he wanted her to go out here and to get her cheeks clapped by the so-called white man. Hey, y'all, it's a sick world out here, y'all. There's a sick world out here. I'm telling y'all, this world is nothing like what they told us, y'all. And it's a lot of cuck stuff going on out here. I'm telling y'all, I kid you not. One of my fellow slaves is slavery. He said this wealthy couple contacted him, broke him off with a nice chunk of money. They wanted to pay him to come over so he can clap the cheeks of this dude's wife. Some kind of a wealthy couple and somewhere near downtown DC. If I'm lying, I'm dying. And my homeboy, my fellow slave, he wouldn't have made that up to me. He said, he was like, what? You want to do what? But that Negro did it, though. He sure enough did go on over there. And this dude is a cuck, was over there laying in the corner. Not laying in the corner, sitting in the corner, standing in the corner, whatever, watching my fellow slave clap his wife's cheeks. I cannot make this up, y'all. I'm telling y'all, all kind of wild, crazy stuff going on, y'all. And this dude got a whole congregation that he's leading into blood drinking and body eating. Joshua the Levite says at Hazel Woods, right, she knows better. She could have left. Yes. And she also held all these receipts too. Why did you hold all these receipts?
Partner likes, maybe on a smaller scale, right? Because all of y'all don't have a mic, anybody with a magnifying glass in your homes, in your bedroom. So we don't know what the hell y'all are doing or what the fuck y'all are into. So let's think of it on a smaller scale. Sometimes, your partner may be into something.
And look, of course, she got to say that, right? I get it. She has to say that. Now, of course, there's a lot of wild stuff going on in the bedroom out here. Okay, when I say out here, I mean everywhere. There's a lot of wild stuff going on in the bedrooms all over America, all over the world. It goes down. When them doors close and that sun goes down, oh, it goes down worldwide. Okay? And nobody knows what nobody's doing when they behind closed doors in their bedroom. But look, one thing we know, being a cuck is not a part of the law, statutes, and commandments. If I got a wife, I'm not going to say, hey, brother, I'm going to go over there and stand in that corner. I want you to go over there and clap my wife's cheeks while I watch. You kidding me? If I was married and I caught a nigga clapping my wife's cheeks, I'm telling you, it is not going to end well. Sound confirmation. Letting you know I meant every word I said. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. This is crazy. Oh, snap. Earth Healing Angel says, wow, this is giving P. Diddy parties. This is called swinging back in the days. Hey, Earth Healing Angel, this is exactly what this sounds like. You know what? They got all these new modern terms and these new modern names out here now. Joshua the Levi says, the jig is up. Hey, y'all, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. This is what's going to happen to all of the blood-drinking, body-eating organizations and groups. They're all going to crumble. They're all going to experience extreme, tumultuous times. Okay? Their lives shall be filled with sorrows that hasten after another God. Psalm 16:4. Their drink offerings of blood will I not offer. See, their lives are being filled with sorrow. Why? Because they're hastening after another God. Is there anybody out there who could post Psalm 16:4 in the live chat for a brother? Hazelwood says, at Earth Healing Angel, I was just going to say that. I was asked to do things I was uncomfortable with. I said no many times. That's right. Y'all know how crazy this is, y'all. Kids, you not. At one of my other slaveries I used to work at, another former slave said one time, it was like 1, 2 in the morning. He said he was just coming back from like eating dinner with his wife. And he said some couple ran up on him off the late night and was like, sir, please, I want you to clap my wife's cheeks. He was like, what? He said, sir, please look over there, my wife. Look, she's beautiful, gorgeous, sexy, very sexy. I will pay you money, sir. I just want to watch. Come over here, clap her cheeks, and I'm going to watch. He said, thank you, sir, but I'm married. My wife is right over there. He said, oh, no problem. We don't care. We don't care if you're married or not. I just want to know, will you clap my wife's cheeks? Sound confirmation, letting you know I'm not making this story up. My ex-co-worker, he said, thanks, brother, but no thanks. I appreciate you offering me your wife, but I got my own wife, brother. Thanks, but no thanks, brother. And look, have you even heard horror stories out there of a nigga going out there and saying, hey, brother, I want you to take my wife. I want you to thrash her cheeks and clap her cheeks, and I'm going to watch. Have y'all heard horror stories like that happening? And then the nigga who's in the corner watching, the husband, gets so angry and pissed because he thought that he wanted to see another nigga clap his wife's cheeks until it actually started happening. And then he saw his wife's cheeks getting clapped, and he saw his wife was enjoying that thing so much till his wife only wants her cheeks clapped by this other guy. See, now somebody got to die. Y'all see that? Can't make this up. If you don't get a control, hey, look, y'all, if you don't remember nothing else from this live stream, other than the Most High God himself, other than Yahweh himself, the most powerful energy on planet Earth known to man is sexual life force energy. And if you cannot figure out a way to control your sexual life force energy, I'm telling you, sky's the limit in a bad way. to the things that could take place in your life. Okay. Earth Healing Angel says, as Sister Hazel, you are so correct. A woman of integrity and who fear Yah will not obey her husband to do evil against Abba Yah. Bring it out. Bring it out, sis. Joshua the Levite says, Psalm 16:4. Good looking, bruh. Joshua the Levite says, Psalm 16:4. Their sorrow shall be multiplied, their hasten after another God, their drink offerings of blood will I not offer, nor take up their names into my lips. You shouldn't even be saying the name of JC. That's why we say JC. Okay? You definitely should not be drinking no blood drink offering. King David says he ain't doing it. But people in Sakari, Guerrilla Hebrew says he's doing it. IUIC says I'm doing it. HOI, WFI, GMS, they all say we gonna do it anyway. And that's why they're all gonna be put to death if they won't repent. Hopefully they will. This sister too. Everybody out there, all of us, we gotta repent, y'all, every day.
Anybody with a magnifying glass in your homes, in your bedroom. So we don't know what the hell y'all are doing or what the fuck y'all are into. So let's think about it on a smaller scale. Sometimes, your partner may be into something that maybe you may not necessarily like or you may not want to do, but to please your partner, like, you'll do it. So I want to make it very clear. I was never forced per se. I never had a gun to my head. I never, but I definitely felt like I was coerced and groomed, and that's going to make more sense as I get closer to the end of this. So the way that he explained to me that I helped him was, I guess, just by entertaining it, just by talking to him about it and things like that. And there'd be times where he kind of wouldn't talk about it for a while, and then, any little thing would bring it up, and then we're, talking about white boys and, stuff like that. And I actually did research. As many intelligent brothers and sisters as we have in the community, I'm honestly baffled at how many of you didn't simply do a Google search to understand what the cuck fetish is. Now, obviously, I'm in the truth, right? So I recognize it as a demon. I know what it is. I understand my husband's calling in life. I see that he has a congregation. I see that he has people who look to him. And the primary part of the cuck fetish is there's an interracial component, and that goes for the cuck fetish in general. Like, if it's a white man, it's a black man that he wants to see with his wife. If it's a black man, it's a white man that he wants to see with his wife. So obviously, knowing what he teaches, knowing what he stands for, knowing what he says in terms of Esau, and like, to me, I'm like, man, this is really like something that Satan has sent, obviously to derail him, to deceive him, to tempt him, and for me, I wanted to help him, and I also understood, based off my research, that this particular fetish, outside of my understanding of it spiritually, is tied to trauma, right? I've seen somebody, make a comment about, why would she even entertain this? She's an Israelite woman. Why would she even? Was I supposed to abandon him? Was I supposed to say, oh my God, it's crazy, let me just, leave, let me walk away? What would you all have said of me then? Y'all can't have it both ways. Y'all can't tell sisters you're supposed to stick by your husband. You're supposed to stand beside him. If something's going on, you're supposed to be there with him. It's either this is your husband till death or adultery. Well, that's biblically, right? That's our understanding in scripture. So just walking away and leaving because I knew about it is retarded and it's stupid and it's not even something that I would advise a sister to do. Now keep in mind,
Earth Healing Angel says, I'm understanding it correct. Is it called cup fetish? No, Earth Healing Angel, it's called cuck. Cuck is short for cuckold. Cuckold. Again, that's Cuckold. Cuckold, or sometimes they say cuck. I'm telling y'all, I don't know exactly how long this thing's been going on, but you know the scriptures say there's no new thing under the sun. So they probably been doing this for God knows how long. It's just that certain ones of us are now it's becoming more mainstream. Let's put it like that. Clearly, this has been something that's always been going on in the shadows. Back when my coworker told me this guy pulled up on him, I had never heard that term cuckold before, but that's what it is. And it ain't the first time I heard about somebody pulling up on somebody and asking them to clap their wife's cheeks or blow their wife's back out. It ain't the first time I heard of stories like that. It is crazy out here, y'all.
It was fantasy.
Look, that's why I said outside of the Most High God himself, sexual life force energy is the most powerful force on planet Earth. Everybody has sexual life force energy. And if you are unable to get somewhat of a grip on it, because it's the most powerful force that every one of us possesses. Outside of the Most High himself, sexual life force energy is the single-handed most powerful thing every one of us have. And if we don't get somewhat of a handle on it, it will literally destroy you. It can put you in the grave. I mean, instantly, just like that. You'd be surprised how many people woke up today and they end up in the grave today. Why? Because something took place today and they had no control over their sexual life force energy, and whatever it was that sound confirmation, whatever it was that took place today, in the result, they in the graveyard same day because something took place today and it was so insane and it caused them to lose their life. That's how powerful sexual life force energy is. It can make you or break you. I'm not making this up, fam.
Until it wasn't.
Hazelwood says this woman is confusing. Is she really into the truth or is she pretending? Something not adding up with what she's saying. I see what you're saying, Hazelwoods. I'm trying to listen to and figure this thing out, fam. Hit the like button if you haven't already and subscribe. Hazelwood says she's doing too much explaining. It don't take all that. Just speak plain about what happened. Exactly, Hazel. Exactly.
So, for me, based off my research and what I understood it to be, and the different, there's nuances to the fetish. It depends on the cup. This sounds so crazy. But I have to just be 100% at this point because, like I said, I'm going to do what my husband won't do, and I'm just going to tell the truth because I have to unburden myself of this. So, depending on the cup, some are into domination, some are into strap-ons, some are into even being with the other man. I'm just telling y'all different components that are,
y'all hear this?
Generally, it depends on the person.
There's no such thing basically as a one size fits all cuck. Okay, this thing is it's a large scale of basically sexual degeneracy. Okay, I became privy of another sexual degenerate genre yesterday, something called gooning. I've never heard the term gooning before until yesterday, but apparently Gooning is when someone wears their sexual deviance on their sleeve and they are willing to go to whatever lengths to get one off. Doesn't matter where or who or who's around. I just became aware of that yesterday. It's called gooning. Hey y'all, this is a wild ass world we in. Capri 10, what's good, fam? Capri 10 says weirdos. Pretty much, Capri 10. This world is very strange, y'all.
Person.
Hey, look, I don't know if we're gonna watch this whole thing. This thing is 2 hours long. So far, we only 28 minutes in. We're gonna watch as much as we need to. Hit the like button.
So
man.
for me, it was about while we're trying to get this up off him, it's clear because he would fast, I would pray, while trying to get this up off him, if I could get as close to fulfilling the parts of this fetish without ever crossing that line, that means bringing someone else in, that means actually talking to other men, things like that, then I was going to try those things, because my concern was, as time went on, I saw an increase for his appetite for.
How are you going to fulfill the cuck fetish without actually doing it? But you know what? She did say some cucks like the strap-ons, and if I'm not mistaken, I do think that maybe he wanted her to strap on. Y'all, this is some wild shit, y'all. This is wild. And this dude got an entire congregation leading them off of a cliff, drinking blood and eating bodies, y'all. Come out of these camps, y'all.
I saw escalations. Conversations became more frequent. The smallest things would cause him to make certain comments. We could be talking about something as random as Walmart and the white security guard that works there. All right, I'm gonna get into that. My husband knows what I'm talking about. He knows I'm not lying. I pray he doesn't make me prove it.
Whoa! Sounds like a threat to Guerrilla Hebrew. She says my husband was basically any little thing would trigger him talking about white boys and wanting white boys to clap his wife's cheeks. Yeah, just think about that. Look at this sister, y'all. This sister is a gorgeous, a beautiful sister. I'm telling y'all, these niggas don't deserve no women at all. This nigga Guerrilla Hebrew got multiple wives. Guerrilla Hebrew got multiple wives. And this sister on the outside, she's beautiful. I don't know what would come over a man to say, you know what? I got this beautiful wife. I want another man, specifically the so-called white man. Specifically, he's adamant about that, white boys. And specifically, it must be some white boy who's a security guard at their Walmart. He wants this nigga to clap his wife's cheeks. And she said, I hope he don't make me prove it. You know what that means? He must have sent her a text message, a nasty text message about how he would love to see the security guard clap her cheeks. She said, I hope he don't make me prove it. This woman saved a lot of receipts. Y'all notice that? Earth Healing Angel says, okay, thank you, brother. Wow. Sexual energy can open demonic portals in your life if you play around unrighteously. Yes, it's very spiritual. You can't love your husband or wife more above Yah's law. Bring it out. Bring it out. And look, I can only think if I was married, because sometimes it'd be the husband that suggests this, sometimes the wife. If I was married and I had a wife and she came to me and said, hey, Mr. Real Talk, I want you to be a cuck and I want to bring another nigga in here and I want him to clap my cheeks and you gonna watch. She would instantly be out of here. Instantly. Don't look at me, don't speak to me, I'm done with you. SP says she might have been nasty herself from jump and finally got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And SP, that's very possible, fam.
So, things like that. And I started to become concerned as time went on. And Naya knew about it as well. Obviously, she had been with him for years prior. I want everybody to understand that this fetish pre-existed me. It was here before me. It was here even before he came into the truth. And whatever it is, he's trying to almost paint this picture as if I'm the reason for it, or I'm to blame, or whatever. Like, that's not the case. It's nonsense. So anyway, but as again, like I said, as time went on, I became concerned because there was an escalation. With him, it just seemed like it just became more and more and more like it needed to be a part of our sex life. And then it was the people he would surround himself with, the places he would go, things like, you know, Nia's cousin, former prostitute. Nia was a former prostitute, former stripper.
What?
His sister was a prostitute.
This is your wife.
Prostitute turned whatever. But it was just, and these were the kind of people that were around him.
Do y'all see this?
Him going into clubs, you have to understand, like, he'll say shit like I was disagreeable and, you know, disrespectful, but I knew the kind of demon that was on him. I knew being around certain women, going into certain places like these clubs and things like that, all of these things are temptations. I had a fear that he would eventually seek this out elsewhere, because he knew, despite what I was willing to entertain within the confines of our marriage bed and text messaging, that I would never cross that line. Although he tried to get me to. And I suppose that's what made me disagreeable and disrespectful, because I saw shit and I called shit out when I saw it. I don't know if anybody found it strange who follows my husband on any of his social media platforms. I don't follow him. I never have. It doesn't mean I don't support him on YouTube and things like that, but this was my way of staying in order, because there were things that I saw and places I seen him in and women I seen him around that I was concerned about because of what I knew he was dealing with. I'm supposed to be his tower against death. I guess that made me disagreeable.
Hazelwood says if she had any kind of respect or morals about herself,
you know, I went to see a chiropractor.
She would not have participated in those acts.
Help as well. When I found out that Nia's cousin who was a prostitute.
Y'all see this? His ex-wife, or maybe current wife, maybe ex-wife, was a prostitute, and her sister was an ex-prostitute. This guy, Guerrilla Hebrew, likes marrying former prostitutes and hanging out with them. Joshua the Levite says 2/3, I tell you, 2/3. This is crazy, y'all.
Who then became a masseuse. Was starting to
ex-prostitute turned masseuse.
And then, you know, I guess it was recommended massages might help as well. When I found out that Nia's cousin who was a prostitute, who then became a masseuse, was starting to give him massages.
Dun, 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 dun.
I took issue with that.
Know what that means, right?
And I said something to him about it. Told him, you know, I'm just giving you guys an example of just some of the shit that he might have called me being disagreeable about or disrespectful. I said something about that. I was like, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't think that's a good idea. She has a past. I understand she's a masseuse now. She has a past, but I have reason to believe certain behaviors are still very much a part of who she is, and I don't think that's a good idea. Of course, Masalah, here you go. You always making something out of nothing. Always
something out of nothing.
That, you know, she's got her
getting massages from former prostitutes. You got to be kidding me. Hazelwood says the Most High Yahweh is not in that camp. If he was, they wouldn't be even thinking of all that sexual perversion. It's beginning to sound like some Diddy Fest over there. SP says they might as well go back to church. Basically, if you're still drinking blood and eating bodies in 2025, just go back to church, y'all.
Certification. She actually gives massages, and I'd rather pay her, then go and pay a heathen, and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
I'm always that guy, right? So I had to just take a step back off that. I'm saying that for a reason. This is going to be important. Stick with me, Israel. I'm trying not to, you know, but I need y'all to really understand what I'm saying. So it was things like that. So anyways, fast forward. We go to Feast of First Fruits. I will have to look at the date to, be 100% in terms of timeline. But anyway, there was a Feast of First Fruits. By this time, I moved back to Atlanta. I'm staying in an Airbnb at the time. He had me come back to Atlanta, but still hadn't had a place for me to go. So I'm staying in Airbnb at this time. Feast of First Fruits. We were at the school. I don't recall what it was that Naya had told me or had revealed to me that he hadn't told me about, but whatever. It pissed him off. Because it pissed me off. I got upset because I found out, obviously, some more stuff. There's one thing my sister wife was good for. Like, she would tell me shit that was going on that he didn't want me to know about for obvious reasons, because I'm in the truth. If anybody's going to tell him he's dead wrong about something, it's going to be me. Which is what made me disagreeable and disrespectful. So,
Capri 10 says they never left the church.
I'm upset with him.
They bought it with them.
Revealed to me.
Yeah, they did.
He finds out Naya revealed it to me. And this is the first time that I witnessed with my own eyes him assault her.
Wow.
We were getting ready to leave. By this point, the majority of the school had cleared out. It was pretty much just...
so he beats up women.
Brothers that were straggling, but they were getting ready to get in their car.
So not only is he a cuck, he's a false prophet, a cuck, and he beats up women. Wow.
And take off. Hassan was there. Myself, Naya, all of the kids. And I got upset, got in my car, got ready to leave. Of course, he's screaming and yelling because of how I'm reacting to the information that I've heard.
Debaucherous information.
So he's upset. I'm getting ready to leave. I close my door. Of course, he's angry that I'm angry, that he's a liar. And puts 2 dents in my car.
Wow.
Which I still have to this day.
Very
fix that.
Very abusive.
He's talking about buying Janae a new car.
But one thing you ain't gonna do is play with me and talk about you taking care of my kids and you take care of me, because bitch, you don't take care of me. You never bought my fucking new car, bitch, and I'm really pissed about that. I should come play in your fucking tires and make sure it is. So that's what I'm mad about. And then you talking about mad because brothers and fellas, because you was in Cancun. Others, you know personally, bitch, I've been to Cancun 6 times or more.
You still haven't fixed the dents you put in my car, but whatever. So, I'm mad. I take off. Now, mind you, at this point, they only had 1 car, or they might have had 2 at the time. But Naya was drinking, so he just brought 1 car with him. I had my own car, so I left. They were arguing in the parking lot. And then I got a call from Naya. She's upset. She's screaming. She's like, he threw a beer at me, or the beer that I had, he threw it at me, or something like that. I'm not understanding, but she's telling me to come back and get her. There's a lot of yelling and screaming in the background. So I turn around and I get back to the parking lot, and in time to witness him pull her out of the car by her hair, flay her over to the side, and then toss Kyrie's car seat. That's the baby that she was pregnant with when they reconciled. And, he was obviously with her at the time. And, kind of got back around and, got in this side of the driver's seat. The kids were in the car. He kept the older 2 kids that they have together in the car with him. Assad was there. He witnessed everything. And, I took her and brought her back with me to the Airbnb. She had a chunk of her hair missing. So it was a big thing. I had reached out to the elder Shalimar for counsel because she was scared of going back to the house for obvious reasons. Whatever. So We ended up having a council, and in that council as well, something else that was brought up was because Naya had been asking for counsels for stuff for some time, but obviously she's not in the truth. She doesn't really know who to call. He could easily just tell her no. So, I reached out to the elder, Shalama, and he did our counsel. My husband finally...
Hazelwood says she's telling everybody's business. Yes, she is. She like, y'all ain't just going to be looking at me. I'm telling everything.
Although he was disagreeing before, but when, we were kind of a united front, myself and Naya, he had no choice but to, let it happen, because I told him I'm going to call the elder anyway. You can't just put your hands on her. You can't do what you've done. We need to speak to somebody. So we had that whole council or whatever. So, obviously everybody reconciles. This is what happens. Weird shit would happen all the time. We would just, a lot of things would just be swept under the rug, and never really.
Do you hear this? Weird shit would happen all the time. This is not weird. This is diabolical.
Resolved. So during this time, this cuck fetish is still a thing. Again, it's all always fantasy. I know he was talking to Naya about it as well in terms of text messages and things, and she would reach out to me sometimes and be like, he's talking about this white guy shit again, and laugh it off, like, girl, he gonna get that up off him. It's it's gonna take some time at this point.
Hey, y'all, do y'all hear this? This nigga got multiple wives out here, and he's talking to all of them about getting their cheeks clapped by a white man. When he's going to go out there on the corner and scream from the mountaintop that the white man is the devil, but he's trying to get all of his wives to get their backs blown out by the same so-called white man. You cannot make none of this up, y'all. You cannot make none of this up. For those of you who've never heard of the cuck lifestyle, here it is. You just never thought you'd get introduced to the cuck lifestyle by way of Guerrilla Hebrew. What in the hell?
It's semi under control. It's still happening.
Semi under control.
It's semi under control, and it's still fantasy to this point.
Semi.
So fast forward to Passover, I believe might have been 2022. I was pregnant. And I'm missing something. So also within the council that we did with Elder Shalama, something else that was brought up was Naya's concerns about how inappropriate he was being with her sister. I guess Naya was very good for going through his phone. My husband he doesn't put passcodes on his phone. He doesn't feel like he should have to.
Naya is another one.
Right, he doesn't. He's
of
just
his
that
thing.
confident about just doing whatever it is he wants and not giving a damn whether one of his wives were to go through his phone and see it. I think I went through his phone one time. Never did it again after that. I would highly advise sisters not to do that. I tell them that all the time. Even if you have the opportunity to go through that man's phone,
don't
go through his phone. Unless you're prepared to find exactly what you're looking for. So anyway,
I'm telling y'all, hey, same thing for you brothers out there. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to tell y'all, do not go through that other person's phone. Because I'm telling you, first of all, you don't know what you're going to find. And I'm telling you, your whole world could be wrecked. You think you want to know till you start reading that text message, and it's going to crush your whole world. Don't do it. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Hazel Wizard says, how deep does this ish go? Exactly, Hazel Woods.
It seemed that he was sending inappropriate text messages to her sister, her blood sister.
So now he's trying to crack on his wife's sister, one of his other wives, trying to blow her back down.
And, as much as she didn't necessarily know a whole lot in terms of scripture, believe it or not, She knew that he couldn't. He wasn't allowed to like do anything with her sister. Like that's her blood sister. Like wasn't that off limits? Which of course I confirmed with her. Yes, that's your blood sister. He's not supposed to, have sex with her or sleep with her or anything. So we talked to the elder, brought it up to the elder. Of course, he's telling the elder, like, yeah, I was saying, inappropriate things and, an Instagram message or something like that, but I would never do anything with her. Like, they're just complaining about something that hasn't even happened or whatever the case may be. So,
yeah,
of course, the elder's telling us, well, he knows he's not supposed to do that or whatever. Do y'all really believe that he would sleep with her sister? And we're like, yeah. It shocked the elder that we both were like, yeah, we do. We believe.
Of course he would. Of course he would.
And there's a multitude of reasons, but obviously I'm trying not to make this video 6 hours long. So there's some things I have to skip over, but just know that we had reason to believe that he would do it. So fast forward, that situation happens.
Oh, y'all see it?
I get pregnant, and I think I was about maybe 14 weeks at the time. So I'm 14 weeks at the time. And
fair use. Do y'all see the insanity? See, this is what happens. I told you the most powerful force on planet Earth outside of the Most High himself is sexual life force energy. I don't care who you are. It is the most powerful force known to mankind. And if you are not able to get some kind of grip on yours, I'm telling you, it's going to cost you every single thing that you got. You're not going to survive. You're going to end up crashing out because the sexual life force energy is so strong. It will literally overtake your body, your mind, your spirit if you're not strong enough. You got to be strong, Hebrew. You got to discipline.
Literally the day after Passover, not only did I lose my baby, I lost part of my reproductive organs, and I bled out maybe about 4 liters of blood.
Hey.
I had what's called an ectopic rupture, meaning the baby, the pregnancy was in my fallopian tube. And I hadn't gone to the doctor yet. Once I found out we were pregnant, I still hadn't set up a doctor's appointment, which is so strange. I don't even know why. To this day, I couldn't tell you why I didn't. Because had I, went to the doctor, they would have, did an ultrasound, or they would have seen that the baby was in my tubes, and obviously taken measures to remove the baby from my tube so that it would stop growing. Because it obviously can't grow in the tube. There was no chance of saving that pregnancy. Either way it went. But so the baby was in my tube, but because I hadn't done.
We got Avia. Avia says, Shalom, Mr. Real Talk. This is Earth Healing Angel Sister Anika Anderson. Okay, Anika Anderson, I remember you. She says, I changed my profile to my Hebrew name, Avia. Avia has a nice ring to it, Anika Anderson. Good to see you up in here, Avia. As always, good to see you, fam. You and your sister. Avia says, Shalom, family. A big shalom to you, Avia, all the way from Canada. And a shalom to every one of you in the live chat and on the playback. Like I was saying, fam, this video is 2 hours long. So far, we only 43 minutes in. No way we watching this whole 2 hours. But we're going to watch until we've had enough, until we've gotten the gist. Sexual life force energy is the most powerful force known to mankind. Every man and woman has it. If you can't control yours, your life will be a wreck. You're going to crash out. That crash out can look different for different people. One person, it can wind you in the gutter, sleeping in the alley. The next person, it'll wind you up in the cemetery, sleeping in a casket. That's how powerful sexual life force energy is. It can make you or break you.
So, doctor, I didn't realize that the baby was in my tube. So what happened was the baby kept growing, kept growing in my tube and essentially ruptured my fallopian tube.
Hey, Avia, what time is it in Canada, Avia? Could you please let me know? And I do believe y'all are from Canada, right? I want to say y'all from Canada. If I have that correct, what time is it in Canada right now? It's 2:09 in America, in the DMV where I'm at.
Causing me to bleed out internally. And I didn't even know that's what was happening. We were actually supposed to do a whole testimony video about this, but it wasn't as important to my husband as it was to me. But a couple of sisters I told this testimony to, so that was kind of a trauma for me in terms of Passover and taking Passover unworthily. But when I talked to him about it, what he told me was that the reason that happened was because of something that he had done that the Most High wanted blood for. Now, if I just go back a little bit, Naya had also been pregnant maybe a couple of months before that, and she had also lost the baby. And for some reason, nobody can really explain, she bled for a really long time after that. And so when this had happened with me, he said the situation with Naya, losing the baby, and then having that unexplained bleeding for so long, and then the same with me, he said that was due to something that he did that the Most High wanted blood for. At that point, he had told me that whatever it was that he did was the reason that what had happened to me and what had happened to Naya had happened.
He ain't gonna tell you what he did, though.
Never went into it.
He is not gonna tell you what he did.
And I accepted it. What a lot of people have to understand is some of the stuff that you guys are finding out now, in terms of like Shamila, which is the blood sister of Naya, the one that he slept with. I did not know until everything came out. That's why I'm hearing people saying, well, she knew this kind of stuff. Why would she just wait till now to bring it out? And there's a lot of stuff I didn't know about. All of the other sisters, some of the additional evidence from throughout the years, sisters who have been solicited in one way or another. Like the sister in Philly, that evidence was also provided. Things like that I didn't know about. I didn't find out about those things until you guys found out about those things. So, in hindsight now, when I think about the timeline from my understanding, I believe that him sleeping with Naya's sister is what he was talking about. But I could be wrong. Anyway, so that happens, and of course I'm gutted by that. Not losing my baby, not understanding why. So then there was a time span where we were trying to conceive again. Had tons of issues with that, obviously. Now I have one less fallopian tube. I'm older. Oh boy. I'm older. No. Serafina. I'm screwed. She is up.
Avia says it's 2:11 p.m. in Toronto. Okay, you on the same exact time I am. It's 2:11 p.m. in Toronto, Ontario, but we are in the Middle East. Oh, and it's 9 p.m. here. Whoa, hold up, Avia. Now you just threw me for a loop with that one, fam. Are you in Canada? Canada has the Middle East where it's 9:11 p.m. Or are you in the Middle East like Morocco and Tunisia and all of that, the other side of the world? I don't know why I was thinking you was from Canada. My bad, Avia. My bad, fam. You're in the Middle East. That's where you and Earth Angel are from, is the Middle East. Maybe I'm getting y'all mixed up too, because I think it's another pair of sisters on here too, who are like literal blood sisters too. I might be getting y'all mixed up. There's so many wonderful sisters on this channel. The women on this channel are the bomb. But Abiyah says the Middle East, and it's 9:11 p.m. here. Wow. What Middle East are you? Are you talking about Middle East over in Africa, Middle East? Or is there a Middle East in Canada? I know it might sound like a crazy question, but I'm really trying to figure it out, Abiyah.
So have some issues with conceiving all throughout this now. There's just tons of just issues and, you know, different things going on, and issues with his marriage with Naya, and, you know, other things that are going on, and just the usual weird stuff that he expected me to just see and be aware of and just act like I didn't see it.
Usual weird stuff.
The things he wanted me to just sweep under the rug and like not act like they were sin, not act like certain things didn't walk with the Bible. Like, that's what made me disrespectful. That's what made me disagreeable. That's the truth of the matter. And of course, he'll deny that, but at this point, I'm his only wife that's actually in the truth. Oh, y'all, you blur her out. Let's put you under this. Can you blur her out? I don't even know if you can blur her out. You gonna be right here? So I went through a lot. And actually, one of the sisters who, House of Conor, the sister, she walked with me through a lot of this stuff, man. Some stuff I'm not even gonna bring up. But she knows the hell I went through. She knows the ways that I was tormented. Simply for not wanting to go along with a lot of stuff, calling out things that were weird because they were weird, calling out things that didn't make sense considering who he was and what he taught. That's what made me disrespectful. That's what made me disagreeable, according to him. And I'm not saying that I'm the easiest. I'm not saying I was just this perfect wife who was just, you know, like, no, I have my moments. I can be, you know, aggressive. I can be, you know, assertive. I can, you know,
aggressive and assertive. Huh?
And like I heard him say out of his own mouth, he liked that. So, you know,
yeah, because he's sick.
That as the excuse for why he allegedly put me out. Which, quite frankly, I'd love to see biblically where he can just put me out. I want to see in the law where he can just put his wife and his children out because the wife is disrespectful and disagreeable. You had a wife who committed adultery. Like, did you put her and your children out in the streets? No. The time that there was whatever that domestic violence thing was or whatever, and Naya left, you ended up paying the rent at the place that she moved to. So, you know, whatever. It was just stuff
Hazel
like that.
Wood says, why
like
would
that,
you?
He would expect me to act like it wasn't weird. And didn't make me feel some sort of way. And didn't make me question his leadership. And didn't make me question him. And didn't make me trust him less. Again, like I'm telling y'all, there's a whole lot of other things that I'm just not bringing up because we don't have that kind of time. So fast forward, I get pregnant with Seraphina, my baby girl, our youngest out of the two that we have.
Hazel Wood says, why would she want to stay there after all he put her through? Very good question, Hazel Woods. Very good question. I want to know.
And those times were a little bit better. Things were a little bit better in the family. Me and Nia were kind of on better terms. At one point, I was, trying to teach her and do Bible studies with her and try to establish, monthly meetings to kind of, figure out his schedule, see where she needed help, where I needed help. Match our schedules up together and, know when he's going to be out of town, things like that. Just trying to make things better as a unit. Of course, all those things fell through because as our husband.
Wow, Abiyah says we are from Canada, but we have been living in the Middle East, specifically Egypt, for many, many years. Wow. We are 7 to 8 hours difference to you. Sometimes when we tune in, it is very late on this side. Wow. Abiyah, I had no idea. We got family in the Middle East, y'all. Tuning in at all kind of hours. Yo, shout out to you, Abiyah, and shout out to your sister. Shout out to you both. And I appreciate y'all praying for a brother with my leg and my knee. I appreciate all of you brothers and sisters on here who sent up prayers for my leg, y'all. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. SP says nothing stopped her from riding and getting knocked up. She definitely was riding and she definitely got knocked up. Earth Healing Angel says Leviticus chapter 18:18. Hey, y'all. Do y'all see that 18:18? For all my numbers gang out there, if there's anybody out here on this live stream right now, or if you on the playback and you see numbers, type in numbers gang. I see numbers all the time, every day, all day. And here's a prime example, 18:18, a double number. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister, to vex her, to uncover her nakedness, beside the other in her lifetime, concerning him eyeing her sister. Exactly. You cannot go out there and get with your wife's sister. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all.
His priority to structure things, He was more of a leader to y'all than he was to us.
To all my brothers in Sakura who are hurt.
This is the guy right now. This is the false prophet. This is the so-called Haitian. You can buy that shit if you want to. This is the so-called Haitian. This is the so-called Guerrilla Hebrew prophet, the man of Yahushai, who wants his wife to get her cheeks clapped by a white boy. Cannot make this up. Not only that, he wants to get his cheeks clapped. You cannot make this stuff up, y'all. Some of those cucks like strap-ons and all that stuff, y'all. You cannot make this up. Listen to this nigga.
I love you niggas. I wouldn't try.
First of all, who told this nigga he can say nigga? This is a heathen right here, y'all. Calling us nigga. Back that up.
Because as our husband, he didn't make it his priority.
Stop giving these niggas passes, y'all.
To structure things, He was more of a leader to y'all than he was to us.
To all my brothers in Sakura who are hurt. I love you niggas. I wouldn't trade none of you niggas for the world. If y'all gotta bag up, I understand. Unlike other situations, I'm not gonna have the harsh judgment that I would, because I understand the gravity of this situation. I understand, how negative of a look this is.
SP, and she says he is Esau. Ding, 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 ding. And you are correct. Masquerading as a so-called Haitian. Y'all, you cannot make this up. This nigga got an entire congregation turning our brothers and sisters into blood-sucking, blood-drinking, body-eating niggas, y'all. Cannot make this up, y'all. And look, he got on a hat that says War Angel. Y'all see this? SP says he is Esau. Look like a conquistador to me. Look like a fake so-called Greek to me. Whatever you want to say. This nigga look like an Arab. This nigga is not one of us, y'all. And look, let's just go out on a limb. Let's just say he was a so-called Haitian or whatever this nigga's saying he is. He still ain't one of us because this nigga is a vampire and a cannibal, y'all. It's spiritual, y'all. People who drink blood and eat animals, eat bodies, eat human bodies and cannibalistic, spiritualistic seances, they are not like us, y'all. And who told this nigga he could keep saying nigga, man?
He was more of a leader to y'all than he was to us.
To all my brothers in Sakura who are hurt, I love you niggas. I wouldn't trade none of you niggas for the world. If y'all gotta bag up, I understand. Unlike other situations, I'm not gonna have the harsh judgment that I would, because I understand the gravity of this situation. I understand, you know, how negative of a look this is. And you know, it was an honor serving you niggas, honor teaching you niggas.
You hear this? Been an honor teaching you niggas. Been an honor hanging out with you niggas. Who told that nigga he could say nigga? That nigga ain't like us. He can't say nigga. He is not one of us. The hell out of here. Earth Healing Angel says, but he can't be a priest having multiple wives. His eyes have dark energies. You see that? You see that, Earth Healing Angel? I'm going to read that again. Earth Healing Angel. Earth Healing Angel, one of them ones. She can look into his eyes and see the demon. Earth Healing Angel says, but he can't be a priest having multiple wives. His eyes have dark energies. Always look deep into the eyes to see the spirit. You can also sense who is truly Yasharal, and this is questionable. Hey, yo, Earth Healing Angel, you are one of them ones, fam. You definitely one of them ones, and you got that spirit on you. You got that healing spirit, and you got that intuition spirit. I see you, Earth Healing Angel, all the way from the Middle East. SP says, he's just white, quote unquote. Hey, shout out to SP. Straight shooter shooting straight from the mother-loving hip. SP said, he's just white. Somewhere else. We've ignorantly given these types passes. SP, you are 100% correct. We got the brother Bill Thomas up in here. My guy, Bill Thomas, was good, fam. Brother Bill Thomas, and he goes, at Hazelwoods, often we choose to follow actions or decisions that appear appealing or advantageous at the moment, aligning with our desires or needs. Ouch. Very true. Brother Bill Thomas. What's going on, Brother Bill? Good to see you, broski. Hey, Brother Bill Thomas, please, brother, go to my email today, brother. Email me so that I can have your email. I'll try to catch you. Last time I caught you on the live to tell you, brother, please, Bill Thomas, go to my email, brother. Let me put it up here right now. Go to my email, brother, so I can have your email, so I can send you my number so you can text me, or you send me your number so I can text you, brother, because I've been wanting to chop it up with you, Bill Thomas. Bill Thomas, my email is glorytoyah1121@gmail.com. Again, brother Bill Thomas, please email me today, brother. You can say anything. Just say something so that your email pops up, or you can just send me your number and I will text you mine, or you can just email me and I will text you my number so you can hit me Brother, I've been dying to chop it up with you, Brother Bill Thomas. So much things have been happening out here. Once again, Brother Bill Thomas, my email is glorytoyah1121@gmail.com. I'm telling you, as soon as I see you email me, I'm gonna reach out ASAP. And also, anybody else out there, if you would like to contact your brother, there's my email on the screen right now. You want to chop it up about something, feel free. We family, y'all. You don't have to be shy, not when you're around your brother. You want to chop it up with me about something? My email is right there. glorytoyah1121@gmail.com. And again, please, Brother Bill Thomas, hit me up, brother. If you email me today, I will be reaching out to you today. I gotta chop it up with you. Brother Bill Thomas, y'all, he one of them ones. One of the good guys from Washington, D.C., holding it down. I know I talk a lot about the brothers in D.C. sometimes, right? Because it's a savage place out here. I call it Savageville. But there are a handful of good men out here. And Brother Bill Thomas is one of them. Shout out to Brother Bill Thomas. Shout out to D.C. out there. To all the real brothers out there. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Bill Thomas says, Ed Hazelwood's comment, however, it's usually only after we've gone too far that we gain clarity and attempt to make the right choices. Sad but true, Bill Thomas. Sad but true. Sometimes it takes us going way too far. And if we're fortunate, once we go way too far, if the Most High has mercy on us, he'll keep us alive long enough for us to see the error of our ways and to repent. Because how many guys have you guys seen out there? How many guys have you guys seen out there who went too far and they were not able to return back because the Most High snuffed them out? You know what I'm saying? So it's a serious thing out here. The fact that the Most High has allowed us to return back, I don't take that lightly. In fact, I consider us all to be greatly blessed. Greatly blessed. Okay? And Earth Healing Angel says, narcissists love to cry when exposed. Earth Healing Angel, that's one of their go-to tactics. Once you expose them, they turn on the waterworks. Avion says, does anyone believe his tears? Because I ain't buying it. Hell no. Avion, we are not buying his tears. This nigga is faking. We ain't buying this crap. He's selling, but we ain't buying. Brother Bill Thomas says, at Mr. Real Talk, will do. Hey, appreciate it, fam. Appreciate it, Brother Bill Thomas. Hope you're having a good day out there, brother, and being safe. Hey, and when you see the brothers and the homies later on, you know who I'm talking about, Brother Bill Thomas. Tell all the fellas that I said, what up, man, and that I said much love. I'm gonna have to slide up there one time unexpectedly and see if I can catch all the guys, man. Tell all the guys I said, what up, Bill Thomas, and much love.
You know, man, this shit is my life, man. You know, I put you niggas before my kids, nigga. I put you niggas before everything, man. I put you niggas before everything, man.
Oh, no, you didn't. You didn't put niggas before being a cuck. You did not put niggas before wanting a white boy to clap your wife's cheeks. And once again, who the hell told you that you could say nigga? Somebody got to stop these niggas, man.
To y'all than he was to us. So I'm pregnant. Come to find out, Naya's also pregnant. Well, pregnant at the time, obviously. I'm sure you guys have seen that Passover picture. No respect the shooter. We were both pregnant at the same time. Naya was maybe about 3 or 4 months ahead of me. In this thing is going on the whole time. In terms of, as far as I know, with he and I, in terms of just conversation and text messaging and things like that, things that continuously escalated, obviously, where, you know, it got to the point where it was overwhelming to me at times. It's just kind of like, can we just not talk about this, or, you know, make a comment to him, just like, I wish you were here more, or something like that, and so that would turn into this is why you need a boyfriend, stuff like that. So he's right. Everything was fantasy until it wasn't. So fast forward to I believe my Serafina was about 4 months old, and I got a phone call from my sister wife, Naya, which is the first wife, the one that he came into the truth with. And she is upset. Now, mind you, before this, she had just given a birth, maybe, like I said, she was about 3 to 4 months further along than I was. She had given birth, excuse me, and she was going through a lot of, different things, and whatever struggles they were going on or had going on with their marriage and things like that. Now, mind you, there's a lot of things I don't even know is happening. So when she's reaching out to me prior to this phone call,
hey SP, it seems like you're reading my mind, SP. SP, are you a mind reader? SP, maybe that's one of your superpowers that's coming back. SP says this broad then laid up and had mamsers and don't even know it. I kid y'all not, that's what I was thinking just now. That's exactly what I was thinking, y'all. SP, I think you a mind reader, SP. Hey, to all y'all in this live chat right now, y'all know, to all of the chosen ones, all of the brews, the Old Testament only brews, y'all know that a lot of us, dare I say all of us, have invisible spiritual powers. Some of us can do things that nobody's going to tell you this, okay? Like maybe read somebody's mind, maybe be able to influence somebody in a way that is literally supernatural. I can't make this kind of stuff up. They do. That's one of the reasons why they never wanted you to know who you were, and they never wanted you to be able to trace your steps back to your power, because some of us really have supernatural powers. SP says, laugh out loud. I kid you not, SP. I think you a mind reader, yo. Because as I'm thinking that, then I looked up and you typed it in the live chat, SP. Hazelwood says, are we reading each other's minds? I was just typing that. And look, see, you can't make this up, y'all. Hey, y'all, we cannot make this up, y'all. Our powers are coming back, y'all. And this is just a little glimpse of it, y'all. A lot of us can do things you wouldn't even believe, y'all. I'm starting to believe, too, that there's some of us out there, if we could ever learn how to do it, I know that there's some of us out there who can do telekinesis, y'all. We can move things with our mind without laying a finger on it. But they're not going to teach us how to do it. I'm not saying that I do know how to do it. I'm saying I know that there's some of us out there who can do telekinesis, but we don't know how to do it. We don't even know that there are people who can do that. SP says confirmation. Y'all see that? This is why I like going live, family. This is the kind of stuff you can't get, this kind of interaction on a regular upload. That's why we go live, y'all. Hit the like button and subscribe if you're not.
She seems really low in the spirit. She's saying things like, I can't do this anymore. Like, you guys should just do, I can't do this Israelite thing anymore. Just, and I didn't understand it too much then. Obviously, I understand it now. Thank you. So, leading up to the phone call, she had just been acting really strange, and so leading up to the phone call, she was, Serafina, come on, can you go watch Megamind, please, so I can finish this? Go watch Megamind, or you have to lay still, really? I know, Mama. So one night she calls me. Serafina's about 4 months old, maybe between 3 to 4 months old. And she calls me. Naya calls me, and she's upset. She's crying on the phone. She's calling me from a number I don't even recognize. She's crying on the phone. She's upset. Yes. So Naya calls me. She's upset. She's crying on the phone. She's telling me something about her cousin and that Adonis. Obviously, right now, y'all know is Chief. That's his government name. Adonis is, he had sex with my cousin and paid her to dominate him and all types of stuff.
Did you hear this?
I'm just like, what?
So this is another one of his multiple wives. He had sex with her cousin, who obviously was a prostitute, and he paid her to dominate him. Y'all, we cannot make this up. These are the kind of heathens that we got ruling over Israel, y'all. These are the kind of heathen, pagan, Gentile beast that we got. This guy, basically, he got his own church. That Sakari is a camp, and he was the leader. Who knows what kind of stuff is going on in that congregation? And if you're going to be married to him, you're going to be doing certain kind of stuff, okay? That's the way this brother gets down. He ain't having it no other way, and it's all coming out because the Most High has to destroy all of these platforms for idol worship. That's what this is all about. It doesn't matter whether it's Guerrilla Hebrew, IUIC, WFI, HOI, Ringo TV, Raw, New Breed, Global Truth. They're all idolaters. They're all blood drinkers, and they're all body-eating niggas. Okay? So this kind of crazy shit is on par for the course. And I hope that somebody sees this who's involved with this idolatry and decides to come out of this crap, y'all. SP says, and if that stupid ass narrative about being what your daddy was ever true, she just had some white kids. A lot is being exposed and will have to be dealt with, fam. SP, you ain't lying, SP. You are not lying, SP. It's so much to deal with. It's a lot going on and a lot to be dealt with all over the board, SP, as you said, fam. Bill Thomas says, this is giving me the pot calling the kettle black vibes. Hey, Bill Thomas, it's definitely giving those kind of vibes. And look, I don't know if it's just me, but it sounds like this she may have been very turned on and aroused by this cuck thing here. I'm just saying, y'all.
Because at this time, sexual activity for the most part had ceased, obviously because of the separation time, from when, I had my daughter. And, just that, and then I had our son as well, and, I didn't have time, nor did I want to really entertain even text conversations or anything like that, so I wasn't entertaining it at all at this time. So, she says all this, she's talking about she's gonna expose him, and this, that, and the third, and I'm in shock, because I'm like, what? Why would he? Mind you, this is the cousin I had been concerned about. This is the cousin that I had said I didn't think it was a good idea for him to be around, etc., etc. So I call him. I remember having Sarah in her carrier on the front of my chest. She was in her carrier. Girl. So, Naya calls me. She tells me about what allegedly has happened between my husband and her cousin. Of course, I'm like, what? She's like, he's now not giving me the kids. He's telling me I can't take the kids. I'm leaving. Blah blah blah. So I get on the phone with him, and I'm like, what is going on? That's when it's revealed to me. Like I said before, it was all fantasy until it wasn't. He reveals to me on the call that Naya he had created accounts for Naya. I guess Tinder, and I don't know, what other platform, whatever it was, or app it was that he used. But she had been entertaining the fetish at a larger scale than I ever had.
Wow.
She had actually logged into these accounts. She had actually started corresponding with these white men.
Damn.
And unbeknownst to him, and even admittingly, even from her, she met up with one of the men.
Oh shit.
And
got her cheeks clapped.
Sex or something or whatever happened.
Wow. Wow.
And
y'all hear this? Cheeks is getting clapped. Cannot make this up, y'all.
She contracted an STD from it.
Oh shit. Dang.
From what he said was that although he knew she was talking to people, he never intended for her to actually go out there and do that. I call bullshit. Because you know her, you know what she has the propensity to do. You know her background. So, whatever. I think he exploited that part of her that he knew very, very well existed. Again, I'm telling y'all, he was escalating, and I saw it, and this is what I was concerned about. This is what I was worried about. That continuing to be around certain people.
Wow.
And certain things were only going to feed this thing more. And what I have been doing in terms of just within the confines of our own marriage bed and text messages and whatever else was not going to be enough.
Wow.
And later on after this, he had actually told me that I was his methadone. So, you know, methadone is usually like a heroin addict is trying to, come off of heroin. You can't just cold turkey a heroin addict. You're more likely to kill them from withdrawal symptoms if you do it that way. So what they'll give you is a synthetic form of the drug, which is methadone, to taper the addict off the heroin.
So look, y'all see this lady right here. She had her limit as far as she would go, but that other lady didn't. She was calling those white boys up. Only the Most High knows all of the debauchery that took place with Guerrilla Hebrew, this other woman, and these white men.
So, for reference, just to help y'all understand, the cuck fetish was the heroin. I was the methadone that was trying to get him off the heroin. But at this particular time, because I wasn't entertaining it, and for whatever reason, he said I fit the bill better than anybody else. Because I wasn't entertaining him, Naya became his methadone.
Naya was getting them cheeks clapped. Bill Thomas says generally people tend to accept things as they are until they face a setback. Hey, Bill Thomas, you telling the truth, bro. Then they act surprised and want to reveal the issue suddenly. Hey, Bill Thomas, you are coming with true wisdom today, brother. Yeah, you are.
Unfortunately, Naya became the methadone laced with fentanyl because she actually did the shit. She actually went out and did the shit.
Wow. Do y'all see? She said methadone laced with fentanyl because she actually went out and did this shit. So yeah, y'all see this shit.
So he tells me that he did not know that she was going to do it. He knew that she was talking to people, but she did it while he was out of town. At this point, they're just telling on each other now. He's mad that she's cutting up. She's mad that he did whatever with the cousin, whatever. And so he's telling me this. And, she told you that. She told you that she went and slept with this dude and And I'm like, no, she didn't tell me that. And that an STD was contracted. This is one of the things that
Bill Thomas says, "Look, Ma, no hands." Look, Ma, no hands. Hey, Bill Thomas. Hey, bro, you are wild for that. Look, ma, no hands. Hey, bruh, I'm gonna be rolling tonight thinking about that one, Bill.
Talk to me about when I told him about this years ago. He said that that I shouldn't go back because there needs to be something needed to happen.
Look, ma, no hands.
Because this kind of thing leads to a spirit of prostitution. It can lead to disease, etc., etc., etc.
Look, ma, no hands. Hey, Bill Thomas, you are freaking hilarious. Earth Healing Angel says, is it safe to say, in the words of our brother Rick James, Caesar super free, super free? Hey, Earth Healing Angel, I think it's safe to say that, fam.
All my worst fears are coming true. Mind you, by the time I found out that this had even been going on, like this had apparently occurred when I was about 7 or 8 months pregnant. And I was sleeping or dealing with white men.
Wow.
Unbeknownst to me, he was still sexually active with both of us while I'm pregnant, allowing her, or even planting the seed for her to go and do what she did, contract an STD, and introduce that to my womb while I am pregnant. I did not know about that. I didn't even know what was going on. I only found out till Sarah was about 4 months old. So then he tells me that she's, that the thing did happen with the cousin, but he never actually did anything. He only paid her to do the domination portion of it. So while he's sitting here saying the domination thing, this was all Masalah, and this was
he's lying.
If you look into the cuck fetish, first of all, one of the components of it is domination. That's the point. That's a part of. I did the things that I was comfortable with, a part of the fetish, outside of crossing those lines.
What? Did y'all hear what she just said? Yo, what can you do in the cuck fetish that's comfortable without crossing the line? You know what? I would love for her to elaborate on how she. What did she say?
That's the point. That's a part of. I did the things that I was comfortable with, a part of the fetish, outside of crossing those lines.
Like what? I would love for her to go into detail with what she was comfortable doing in the cuck fetish without crossing the line. I'm telling you, I would love to hear
that. Which clearly wasn't enough. People could feel however they want to feel about it. I got bad advice because I advised myself. This is what happens when we're denied counsel. Where things like this I could not go to elders about, considering who my husband is. Or at least I couldn't go to elders about, at this stage. Because of course at this point I'm
a sister, whoever this sister is. Sister, if you should happen to come across this video, you can come on over here with your brothers and your sisters, okay? Over here, you're going to have to lose your house shot, though. You're going to have to clean your house shot off of you. You come on over here with your brothers and sisters, and we will bring you up to speed, sister. And not just you. Any of those sisters out there who are lost in Christianity, Roman Catholicism, any of these camps like Sakari, IUIC, GMS, HOI, WFI, they all the same. Okay? There's only like 1 or 2 camps out there that return to the Most High only. One of them is GOZ. Shout out to GOZ Israelites. Them brothers ain't playing. You want to get with a camp? Go check out GOZ Israelites. Okay? All these other camps, they're going to get you put to death, y'all. And we're going to watch just a little bit more of this video, and then we're going to call it quits because we got to come back in a little bit for the evening live stream. So we're going to watch a few more minutes of this. Y'all get the gist of what's going on. You don't have to hear the whole story. You get the gist of it. The so-called priest, so-called Guerrilla Hebrew, a leader with this whole entire congregation being led astray by a vampire and a cannibal and a cuck. This guy is He's an abomination for one because he's a vampire and a cannibal. And then he's out here trying to get his wife to get her cheeks clapped by a white man. I'm telling y'all. And he's getting his own cheeks clapped. Only God knows what that other woman did with these white women and what Guerrilla Hebrew, did with these white men. And only the Most High knows what Guerrilla Hebrew did with these white men and with these women. We got Joshua the Levite. Joshua the Levite says, at Mr. Real Talk, that's right. GOZ in the building. That's right. That's right. Shout out to Joshua Levite. He's definitely down with GOZ. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a member of GOZ, but I'm definitely down with those brothers. I support them and what they pushing 100%. And them brothers out there on the West Coast, I'm all the way on the East Coast, but I'm definitely down with GOZ. I support those brothers. I was so happy when I found out about those brothers because I always wanted to see a camp pushing Yahweh only. I was talking about that on this channel a couple of months ago, and then one day I just looked up and it was a camp out there doing Most High only. That don't feel so good. Shout out to GOZ, and they are holding it down. Anybody out there, if you in these camps or if you in the Catholic Church, the Christian Church, any of that garbage, get out while you still can. These brothers are going to abuse you out here. They got these sisters out here living a cuckold lifestyle. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting it all on these men because some of these women enjoy that stuff. And I'm not trying to come down on this woman right here because I don't know this sister. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. But it does seem like maybe possibly a part of her enjoyed this little freak off here in some way, form, or fashion. All right? Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm going to give you a few more minutes of this, and then we going to bounce.
Like, we need counsel, but of course he's denying me it. He had been denying me counsel for this specific thing. So he also tells me, now she's taken off because there's another guy that she was also talking to. Apparently somebody allegedly that she knew prior to, and she had rekindled, he happens to be white, she had rekindled the relationship with at the time, and that she was taken off with him or whatever and leaving. So pretty much what happened was he allowed her to rekindle this relationship just in conversation, because you have to understand this is a part of the fetish. What he got from it was simply,
this is sick, y'all. You want another man talking to your woman.
It was pretty much just, knowing the details of the relationship and things like that. So he allowed her to also, I guess, go back to talking to this other white guy.
Wow.
So during this time, he also tells me that the only reason why the thing happened with the cousin, which he said they never had sex.
He lied.
They never actually did anything.
He lied.
It was all just in text message conversation.
You are a liar.
I'm out of commission. His methadone is out of commission. He has to find. So at that time that year, Naya was the methadone. However, the problem is Naya is far too submissive. Right? Far too submissive to do the domination portion of the fetish. So Naya suggested her cousin do it because her cousin had experience with it. Now, to be fair,
yeah, it is
blood cousin. This is just somebody who she's known, I guess, all her life. So you know how we are with that. Somebody who's been a part of our life for a long time. They may be our friends, but we consider them family. So
crazy.
Naya actually suggested her own cousin to do it. Right?
Wow.
Like, this is the kind of weird shit that I'm surrounded around. This is the reason that I didn't trust him. This is the reason that I was...
This is called perversion energy. She's saying weird shit. No, this is perversion, okay? Sexual life force energy, like I said, is the single most powerful power on earth outside of the Most High God. Every man and woman has their own sexual life force energy. If you cannot control yours, it will destroy you.
Disagreeable and disrespectful, because I know who he is. Y'all know Guerrilla Hebrew. I know Adonis. He gets a spit.
Named after the so-called Greek god. Mm-hmm.
in narratives behind the scenes. So all throughout this time, all these things are happening during, during these years and stuff. Like, I'm isolating myself more. Like, I'm less comfortable, going around sisters because I know the kind of shit that's going on. Like, I'm burdened by it. Like, I feel terrible about it. I feel like I shouldn't be around the sisters. Like, and when I'm around these people, these sisters that I call my friends, like, I can't even tell them what's going on. Like, I'd have to, because of who my husband is. Who was I supposed to go to? While y'all talking, who was I supposed to go tell? Niggas that call him a church father? Who was I supposed to go tell? In the community. Particularly when this happened. Because this is the catalyst to why we are where we are right now. Because everything was fantasy until it was no longer fantasy. Mm-hmm. That's what changed. That's what made everything worse.
When cheeks actually started getting clapped, that's when things went downhill. Like she said, it was fantasy until it wasn't. See, if you keep any particular thought in your mind long enough and strong enough, at some point it will come to fruition. Like she said, at first it was just fantasy until it wasn't. Cheeks actually got clapped out here. And only the Most High knows what Guerrilla Hebrew did with these white men and these women behind closed doors. You think you're going to know everything? Hell no. You know enough.
Because he actually did it.
Yep.
And to make matters worse, he opened me up to disease. That the STD that she called was chlamydia. That chlamydia could have easily been HIV.
Facts.
While I may have been entertaining some things, my legs were close to everyone but my husband. So, find out about the cousin and things like that, and then also I found out about this other dude.
What?
And that's apparently who she's taken off with. So pretty much what happened was his plan backfired on him.
Plan backfired.
What he wanted out of that was simply for her to. What was it that he said? He just wanted her to.
You can tell that's a little ratchet Joan anyway. Look at that jump. That's a ratchet hood rat. It's a low life hood rat.
Here and there.
Yeah, that's a ratchet low life hood rat right there.
My husband said he wanted to be cucked, not dumped, and now he dumped it. She fell in love with the second white boy that he knew about. So while he was saying to me, oh God, man. So
this dude basically said, I wanted to be a cuck. I didn't want you to dump me. I wanted to get pleasure out of watching other guys blow your back out and do all kind of vicious things with you, but I didn't want you to leave me. Y'all see this? This is the nigga who's instructing the daughters of Zion, the men of Israel, and they listen to this nigga.
I found out this other relationship he was aware of as well. So when he told me that the first incident with the other first white dude was not, he hadn't told her to do that, like he didn't expect her to do that, whatever. Which again I call bullshit on. But what made it even more apparent that was exactly what he wanted was the fact that once he found out that she had actually done it and that wasn't what he had wanted, why then would he then continue to allow her to entertain this other white guy? Knowing what she had the propensity to do the first time.
Because that's what he wanted.
Like, wouldn't you put a stop to everything right then and there? No, he continued to allow that relationship. And it backfired on him because he would have been satisfied if the relationship had continued. He got his rocks off by knowing the nitty gritty details, as long as she continued to be his prop. Continue to show up to these high holy days, continue to, posture as his wife and things like that in front of the community, but behind closed doors, she's doing whatever she's doing. He would have been fine.
Y'all see this demon?
The problem is the plan backfired on him and she fell in love with this dude.
Y'all see that Arab up there posing as a Hebrew?
Now when I think about it, because because it's so absurd and it's.
But look, y'all, I think that you guys get the gist of this. Now, this thing has another hour and 15 minutes to go. We're not going to watch all of that. I think you guys get the gist of it. I just wanted to shine a little light on what's going on out here in the Hebrew Israelite community at Sakari under Guerrilla Hebrew, who is no Hebrew at all. He's a blood drinking, body eating demon. And he's leading the children of Israel off of a cliff. Any of you who are involved in these camps at all, I advise you to run for your life. Anybody telling you that somebody else died for you and that they want you to drink blood and eat somebody's body, get the hell away from them. And if you won't, your life is going to be filled with many sorrows because you're chasing after another God. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Anybody out there, if you still going to church, if you still believe in JC or Yahweh or Yeshua, you better repent to the Most High God and do it now before he takes your life and before he allows your life to become horrible like this sister on this testimony right here. This is real, y'all. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll be back later on this evening for our regular Monday evening live stream. I hope that somebody was edified by this, and we will see y'all later. Brother Bill Thomas says, if she seeks truth, she should join us. I hope that that sister comes across this video. Brother Bill Thomas says, if she seeks truth, she should join us. We'll give her all the information about the Most High's identity and history. Trust your instincts to find your place. Yah only. That's right. Spoken from one of them ones coming out of Washington, D.C. My brother Bill Thomas told y'all it's Yah and Yah only. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I love y'all. We'll see y'all later on this evening for our regularly Monday evening live. Peace, fam.